Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have seen the Laplace transformation of some standard functions. Now here, we will see the fundamental property known as a linearity property and how to solve the problems which are based on linearity property. Almost all the problems has to be solved by using linearity property only. So what is the significance of this property? Let's see that f1 of t and f2 of t are the two functions of t with some constants k1 and k2. So here f1 of t and f2 of t are the real valued functions of t, whereas k1 and k2 are just constants. Now we will try to rearrange the functions along with the constants as k1 times f1 of t, k2 times f2 of t. Look at here, the k1 times f1 of t, k2 times f2 of t, and how they have connected either with the help of positive sign or with the help of negative sign. Now whenever we come across this type of functions, and if I want to solve, if I want to find the Laplace transformation of this function, this can be obtained as the Laplace transform, we can split them, the Laplace transformation of the first term as well as the Laplace transformation of the second term, that is the Laplace transformation of k1 f1 of t plus or minus Laplace transform of k2 f2 of t. So as we know that k1 as well as k2 are just the constants, so we can remove outside the operator. So k1 a Laplace of f1 of t plus or minus k2 Laplace of f2 of t. Now, so here we have seen that f1 of t and f2 of t are merely the functions of t. k1 and k2 are the constants. So these functions k1 f1 of t and k2 f2 of t, they have arranged or they can be represented with the help of, or they have combined with the help of positive sign as well as negative sign. But is this the only possibility that we will come across the problems only with a positive or negative sign? No. So linearity property is not applicable under what situation? Whenever we come across this type of form, that is the Laplace transformation of f1 of t dot f2 of t. That means whenever we come across the product of two functions, and if you have been asked to find the Laplace transformation of such function, and there is a one more possibility, f1 of t divided by f2 of t, and if you want to find the Laplace transform, in that case the linearity property is not applicable. Now what has to be done? So whenever we have the product of two function or this kind of f1 of t divided by f2 of t, the quotient, in this case by using the suitable algebraic operation, or if it is a trigonometric function, a trigonometric properties or the formulae, we reduce them in such a way that the Laplace transformation can be obtained with the help of linearity property. And in general, what is a linearity property? Look at here. So in general, whenever k1 times f1 of t and k2 times f2 of t, either it can be arranged with the help of positive sign or negative sign. In this case, to find the Laplace transformation, we just take out the constant outside the operator and find the corresponding Laplace transformation of the function. In the similar way, k2, which is a constant, to be taken outside the operator and find the Laplace transformation of corresponding function, and in between these two the only possibility sign convention are either positive or negative. This is what about the linearity property. Okay. Now let's see how to apply the linearity property for some problems. So find the Laplace transform of root t minus 1 the whole square. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just consider this root given function as our f of t. Now let f of t is root t minus 1 the whole square. The Laplace transformation of any f of t can be directly found provided that f of t should be in the standard form. What is the standard form? Either it should be a constant, exponential function, sin at, cos at, sin h of at, cos h of at, or even t raised to n form. But here this is clearly a case of an algebraic function, but we didn't had any standard function with a root of t minus 1 raised to n in this particular format. So then that implies this particular function needs a simplification. So it's resembles like a minus b the whole square. So can we have f of t equal to a square minus 2 times of ab plus b square, and accordingly it is root t the whole square minus 2 times of root t plus 1, and further on simplification we obtain f of t as t. So as you can find here 1 by 2 and 2, that is t, minus 2 times of root t, which is t raised to 1 by 2 plus 1. Now if you look at the nature of this each function, the first function t, it resembles like t raised to n, in this case n equal to 1, and this one 2 times of t raised to 1 by 2. So in this case n is 1 by 2 and this is just 1. So very easily we can find the Laplace transformation with the help of linearity property. So Laplace of f of t, let's introduce the operator Laplace of f of t, on that is Laplace of t minus 2 times t raised to 1 by 2 plus 1. Now here we apply the linearity property, we split each function, that is Laplace of t minus Laplace of 2 times t raised to 1 by 2 plus Laplace of 1. So there is no change in the first term as well as the third term, whereas the second term within the operator we have a constant 2. So just take out the constant outside and this can be expressed as 2 times Laplace of t raised to 1 by 2. Rest first for term and the last term will remain as usual. Now with the help of the standard functions we can apply it directly over here. Laplace transform of t, if it resembles like t raised to n. So what is t raised to n? I have mentioned here t raised to n is n factorial divided by s to the power of n plus 1 whenever n to be a positive integer. Now here t raised to n equal to 1 and 1 is a positive integer. So accordingly it is 1 factorial divided by s to the power of 1 plus 1, that is s square. Now here minus 2 times t raised to 1 by 2. Apart from the n positive integer, whenever we come across in generally fraction also, we adopt this generalized rule, that is t raised to n is Laplace of t raised to n is gamma of n plus 1 divided by s to the power of n plus 1. Now here t raised to 1 by 2 is t raised to n. So n, gamma of n plus 1, we may rewrite as gamma of 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by s to the power of 1 by 2 plus 1, and the last one Laplace of 1 is just 1 by s. Then the first term I will write as usual minus 2 times, and we know that from the gamma function from first year mathematics, first year engineering mathematics, gamma of 1 by 2 plus 1 is 1 by 2 gamma of 1 by 2, okay, and divided by s to the power of 3 by 2 plus 1 by s. Now this 2 will get cancelled. Now what is gamma of 1 by 2? Rest everything will remain same. Okay, gamma of 1 by 2 straightway I can write as root of pi, and s raised to 3 by 2, if you want you can split them as s dot root of s, and together we may rewrite as a one term under root of pi by s 1 by s, or else you may rewrite as 1 by s square minus root pi divided by s raised to 3 by 2 plus 1 by s. This forms the Laplace transformation of the function, that is root t minus 1 the whole square. So what is the observation in this particular problem? Initially the problem was given in this particular way. So we have observed one thing, the direct Laplace transformation, that is direct linearity property, is not possible to apply. So it requires a simplification. So accordingly we simplified and we brought in the standardized form in such a way that the Laplace transformation can be applied with the help of linearity property, and rest is simplification. Okay, let's see the next problem. Okay, now here find the Laplace transform of under root of 1 plus sine t. If you look at all the 9 functions, as I said in the earlier problem, we don't have any function with this square root of term, okay, with the square root. Now here 1 plus sine t, as if I can take f of t as a root of 1 plus sine t, since I told you that it is not in the standardized form, it has to be reduced or it should be simplified. Now, what is the simplification? So the first idea what we will get, that is sine of t. So look at the sine of t. So sine of t can be expressed as 2 angle is t, 2 sine t by 2 cos t by 2, and accordingly we can rewrite the 1 as a trigonometric identity with the help of that particular angle, sine square of t by 2 plus cos square of t by 2. So altogether this under root of 1 plus sine t can be expressed, this 1 I can replace by sine square of t by 2 cos square of t by 2, whereas sine of t can be expressed as 2 times of sine of t by 2 cos of t by 2. Now how does it looks like? Sine square of t by 2 plus cos square of t by 2 plus 2 times sine of t by 2 cos of t by 2. Is it not in the form of a square plus b square plus 2 times ab, as just like a plus b the whole square? So accordingly sine square of t by 2 and cos square of t by 2, we can write sine of t by 2 cos of t by 2 bracket square within this square root. Now here if you remove that one, it becomes under root of 1 plus sine t as sine of t by 2 plus cos of t by 2. Both sine and cos are the trigonometric function. Of course, we have identified them as a standard function. Between these two functions, we have plus sign. So very easily we can apply linearity property. Now, we have f of t. What is f of t? Under root of 1 plus sine t. So let us introduce the Laplace transform operator. L of f of t as L of under root of 1 plus sine t. And just now we have seen under root of 1 plus sine t, it is equivalently can be expressed as sine of t by 2 plus cos of t by 2. So Laplace of sine of t by 2 plus cos of t by 2. That is Laplace of, we can split them, sine of t by 2 plus Laplace of cos of t by 2. So Laplace of sine of t by 2, we remember the Laplace of sine of at. What is a? A is the coefficient. So that is given by a divided by s square plus a square. But here Laplace of sine of t by 2, the a is 1 by 2. So if you apply the rule or the formula, it is 1 by 2 s square plus 1 by 2 the whole square, which is 1 by 4. And cos of at is s divided by s square plus a square. If I compare cos of at with the cos of t by 2, the value of a is 1 by 2. And if I apply here s divided by s square plus 1 by 2 the whole square, which is 1 by 4. Okay. Now the further simplification is 1 by 2 I'll take outside. So 1 divided by s square plus 1 by 4, it's just an algebraic simplification. S divided by s square plus 1 by 4. So this 1 by 4, again it denominator term requires simplification. 4 is a LCM, so it is 4 divided by 4s square plus 1. So very easily one of the factor will get cancelled. 2 2s are 4. Then here also in the next term 4s divided by 4s square plus 1. So this is just a simplified form of the problem, that is 4s plus 2 divided by 4s square plus 1, which can be expressed as in the simplified form 2 times 2s plus 1 divided by 4s square plus 1. Okay. So here we have seen how the Laplace transformation of this particular function has been obtained, though it was not expressed in this standardized form. So that means usually we will have the problem in such a way that it requires in the initial stage simplification. That simplification can be applied, or that simplification can be possible either through the trigonometric properties, okay, or sometimes by using algebraic operations, so that we can bring down them to a standard form, and with the help of linearity property, which is purely applicable whenever we have positive sign or a negative sign. So with the help of linearity property, we can further talk about the Laplace transformation. So with these two problems, we can stop here only. For more information and of course problems, please comment and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you.